What's good, Chargers fans? Bolt fam. I'm your host, Booga Peters, joined by my co-host and producer, by the way, for those of you who are unaware of Bolt Blitz Uncut, Taylor Bloom. Taylor, I hope you're doing great. I'm not going to ask you any more than that because we don't waste time on that kind of shit. We have a really fun show tonight for you guys. Taylor and I, we've decided with the 5 picks that the Chargers currently have in the NFL draft to provide what we believe would be the perfect world Chargers draft class. That being said, hey, there's James Allen. Appreciate you, Bubba. India Moss, appreciate you too as well. Thank you guys so much for showing up, especially early. India was here already asking questions long before the show started, so we appreciate you. Thank you so much for showing up. We're going to give you guys our best case scenario, or what would be in our minds a perfect world draft class with only 5 picks. Remember, the Chargers are only sitting at 5 picks right now. It does not look as though, or appear as though, that we're going to get more than that. And by we, I mean the Chargers, and I'm really bad at doing that because I really don't like doing that or saying that. Taylor, we're just going to start off with the first pick right away. I didn't cheat, but I did ask who Taylor had as the first pick, and it did match mine. It's Olaiva Vega Ioane out of, and it's not Ioane, it's Ioane. I'm ready to fight everybody on that, but I would love for him to correct me because everybody says Ioane. Ioane. I think it's Ioane, and if I'm wrong, then I'll wear that because I'm all right with being wrong. But the guard out of Penn State, Taylor, you and I have watched enough tape and at least seen the highlight of him lined up in the slot, going in motion.
Wild.
That fucking nickel. Oh my God, that nickel back. He just,
poor guy.
Wasn't just flattened once. Ioane fucking finished him off too. How obvious is it to you that if, let's say, Vega Ioane is there at 22, how obvious is it to you that he would be the pick for the Chargers there?
Yeah, I think it's an absolute no-brainer. If he falls to 22, the Chargers need to take him. If you think about the past couple of drafts with Ortiz, they've taken Joe Alt in the first round at 5, and their other offensive lineman pick was Branson Taylor, who lived on the practice squad. I would feel a lot better going into the season with this offensive line if they took Vega Ioane, right? That's how you said it?
That's what we're running with it on Bolt Blitz Uncut. Say it however you want. By the way, my producer and co-host of Bolt Blitz Uncut is also the host of the Electric Edge podcast. If you get bored or you really just want to be full of insight and actual hardcore takes on the team based on facts and stats, make sure you check out the Electric Edge podcast hosted by Taylor Bloom. Here's the deal. When I look at a guy like Ioane, I see a guy who doesn't just clear things out. He's athletic enough in any scheme, outside zone, any gap scheme. Like he would have worked with even Greg Roman. Are we allowed to say that here on the show? Yes, we are. We say whatever the fuck we want. But Ioane is one of those special players, and to me, it's not just functional strength; it's ridiculous strength. It's a not just a decent amount of athleticism; it's functional athleticism that allows him. He can pull. Power is there. Duo, of course, he's going to be able to run duo. Come on, give him somebody to help him. What's going to happen is he's helping somebody else. A guy like him, hey, Drogemeyer, let's go, Drogs. Appreciate you, brother. Look at this cat tuning in. Since we're shouting out shows, do not forget to check out the Locked On Chargers podcast with Dave Drogemeyer and Daniel Wade. Nice to see David over here stepping in and providing a comment for us. And listen, I know he's excited about that pick because David also knows the football scene as well as I would think most people do, especially those covering the Chargers in the podcast sphere, if you will. Taylor, you look at the need at the interior offensive line. Cole Strange. I'm so sorry. Coyote Awasika. Trey Pipkins is back, and then, a couple other names, but nothing that gives me the confidence that I feel so safe for Justin Herbert. At what point does this team decide, and maybe it's in this draft class, at what point does this team decide, this organization, this front office, it's really Harbaugh if we're being honest, but Ortiz is obviously a player in that as well. that 10 deserves to have the utmost respect when it comes to providing him with quality offensive linemen.
Yeah, I mean, well, you and I have talked about this. You're paying him $250 million. He's taken the most sacks in the NFL since 2020. We saw the beating he took last year with a poor offensive line. Granted, you had the injuries, but that's not an excuse. You would think that they would want to invest a little bit more than borderline starters on the interior. I mean, I love the Biotish signing. I think that's great. It's a huge improvement over Bozen, but I'm still not fully sold on the guard situation, even if you want to play well. It's the Mike McDaniel scheme. That's great,
Cut
but
you off. I'm with you. I'm tired of the fucking Mike McDaniel scheme talk. I love that Drogs is out here saying Ki Odia Washika. I'm telling you right now, we're just gonna call him Coyote. No. Hold on. So I actually do have a little background on this guy because I do happen to live in Michigan. I'm about 18 to 38 minutes of all parts of Detroit from where I'm at, and he is a serviceable backup for sure. The people that I trust have told me you're not going to look at Shaw. By the way, big shout out to Shaw. He's always here. We love you, brother. And he supports your shit too, by the way. He's constantly commenting with you.
Love it. I
He's either
appreciate
under David or Willie. He's under two different fucking names. You know, why not? Let's be bipolar. My ex-wife is. Fuck it. Legitimately, but that's a story for way too many shows from now. I look at this interior offensive line, and I don't have a lot of confidence right now. I do like the Biotish signing. Let's be honest. It's not hard to improve from the 41st ranked center to, I believe Biotish was, I think, 16.
I think he finished 11th according to PFF grades. But you know, when you're at the bottom of the barrel, the literal bottom of the barrel, the only direction is up. Yeah, the only direction is up.
So we're excited about that. I will say this: he's actually a bit of a road grader, and I think he's going to overperform when it comes to opening lanes, regardless of who's around him. Let's be careful saying that, but I think that he's going to do a lot of things in this run game in a Mike McDaniel offense, and what we all think about, I think, on the exterior when you look at a Mike McDaniel offense, is explosive passing game, big bombs down the field. Do not forget what he does in the run game. It's almost more impressive what he does in the run game. Omari and Hampton. Keaton Mitchell. Ooh, love that ad.
It's going to be awesome to watch.
So fast. And then, of course, one of everybody's favorites, except for you guys who don't like him, Kimani Vidal. I don't know. He gets a weird hate from the fan base. I think it's because some of the GAT guys liked him, and people don't like the GAT guys a lot of times because they tend to pull the expert thing when they just started watching football 3 years. I'm playing. Not Alex, not either Alex's. And I love Tyler. Those guys are great. But we'll keep it moving right now. And then, of course, you still have Jarrett Patterson. Patterson ran really hard in the games that he was thrusted into the lineup. I know you agree.
Yeah, I loved him when he stepped up, especially in that Vikings game. Vidal ran great, and then Jarrett Patterson came in, scored a touchdown. So I was happy that they signed Patterson, whatever his role is on this team, but I'm happy that he's going to be back next year.
Well, it definitely exits out the need for a running back in the draft, but we've done our first picks. We both agreed that it should be Vega Ioane or Ioane, however the fuck y'all want to say. I'm telling you, I'm putting my money on me, and if I'm wrong, then I don't know. I'll give something extra away the next time we do a giveaway. I really think, hey, Jessica Thompson, the future 2026 Chargers Fan of the Year. What was her streak at? I think it's 71 games.
That's crazy.
70 consecutive games, home and road. Jessica, help us out, please, if you don't mind, in the comments section. Remind us of the streak. She's laughing. That's not what we asked. The reason she's laughing is she's told me about 431 times. And what everybody in my life is familiar with now is I don't remember anything. Ooh. So India actually brings up a great point here before Jessica reminds us it was 70. Thank you,
Okay.
Jessica. 70 straight games. For those of you who don't get it, that's a lot of games in a row. The free agency 2027 running backs are disgusting. So what India is adding there in the comment section is, listen, it's a good thing the Chargers shored up this running back position group the way that they did. I know that some people wanted to see Najee Harris come back, ACL, missing
Achilles.
eyeball or Achilles. Yeah, by the way, and I know both. The Achilles actually for me is way worse than the ACL. Like I can still get up and down the stairs. I have to scoot my butt down the steps, but getting up them, ironically enough, I can do a little bit of work. And that's with the medial meniscus tear in the left knee. I'm trying to heal up for Pittsburgh. No matter what, I'm going to be there. Taylor and Jessica are going to push my wheelchair around. I will not be in a wheelchair. I am too proud. And I will not be on crutches. I will not have any brace of any sort, but damn it, I'm not going to be limping everywhere. For those of you who are asking, Bolt Blitz Uncut will definitely be at the draft in Pittsburgh. I'll be catching an Amtrak because, unfortunately, the cardiac doctor has said, nah, man, you're not flying probably ever again. So we're going to figure that out and see if I can get around. Yeah, it's just the whole exploding heart thing. And I think that's a bad idea for my kids because they still need me for a few more years. They're aging out of needing their father. But that being said, I want to make sure I hang out long enough to see them do some important things in their lives.
That's fair.
So I'm on an Amtrak. I'm looking forward to Pittsburgh. I'll be able to limp my way to wherever it is that I need to go. But India, yeah. So Breece Hall, Alvin Kamara, and Jonathan Taylor.
None of them will be Chargers because Joe Ortiz is not going to spend the money to begin with.
For a running back, India has incredible takes, by the way, especially on the about to be renamed, because Taylor's going to fucking do it for me because I can't figure it out now. The San Diego Chargers lovers page is about to go to being renamed to the Bolt Blitz Electric Edge page, and we're going to figure that out, and she and I will take care of that. So I look forward to having that happen. But Joe Ortiz, despite the fact that he very late at the end of the option to draft a running back or a player of any kind, at the end of the whistle, if you will, he took Omari and Hampton. So obviously I was excited. My favorite player in the entire draft class. Your expectations for him moving forward before we get to our perfect world mock drafts for the Chargers in round 2.
I hope Hampton stays healthy this year because I think he's going to have an explosive year in this Mike McDaniel offense. I am so excited to see this run game. Like I think it's going to be outstanding this year, especially if all these guys can stay healthy. Knock on wood, which is not a good track record for the Chargers.
No, I think it's listen. The backfield again. It's just it's Hampton, it's Vidal, and then Keaton Mitchell and Jarrett Patterson. This is a 2,000-yard backfield. Period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A Mike McDaniel offense. I can't imagine. Should Hampton stay healthy? I mean, we're looking at weird, like, I'm not talking MVP numbers because running backs don't win MVPs in 2026, but I will tell you he will push for it if he stays healthy. And I know it's the if team, the Chargers. Don't show me the fucking Herbert with the if thing on his chest anymore. The people who watch the games, I mean every game, and have seen every throw of Justin Herbert, they understand not just how special he is, but how much he's played at a detriment to his ability because he didn't surround him with offensive linemen nor weapons that could separate. Are they on the right track? Yeah, I truly believe so. I as much as I disliked the Rondé Gaston pick, I really did. He's a wise slot in a Mike McDaniel offense that is not a Greg Roman offense. I think it's a key piece. Should they add another tight end? I would love to see what happens. I would love to see an Eli Stowers. That would be a fun pick. The guy jumps out the gym, a red zone. I mean, not just a threat, but you pair him with a with an Aronde Gadsden, and I'm not suggesting that Stowers is my second pick in this draft, but maybe he is because he can do exactly what I just said. Taylor, I already know your second round pick, and I'm excited for the fans to hear this because I think they're going to love it. In your perfect world Chargers mock draft, the second round pick would be at pick 55.
Chris Brazell out of Tennessee, who's a wide receiver. 6'6" wide receiver, ran a 4.37 at the combine. There's been a lot of talk. Well, should the Chargers go get a number one wide receiver? You got a 6'6", big body down the field. Runs a 4.37. I think this could potentially, with some work, be your number one guy at wide receiver. I had been going back and forth.
True X. The Chargers don't have an X. Everybody wants to insert Trey Harris into this true X, and that's great. He was at Ole Miss. He doesn't have the get up and go in a Mike McDaniel offense. Does he have a role? Sure. Greg Roman found a role for him. He used him as a move fucking tight end. It was embarrassing. I would love to see Trey Harris commit and find a way to work his way into this shit. But last year's wide receiver class between Trey Harris and KLS, Keandre Lambert-Smith, for me, not a popular opinion, they both leave a lot to be desired. Chris Brazell, I mean, it's not just that he's big. He can run. He's a Tennessee wide receiver. Limited route tree. That being said, Mike McDaniel is not only known for having this offense that's dynamic and motion and quick motion and cheat motion and all the fun things that we like to say in the football world, but he schemes people open on every play. There will be somebody open every play. The excuses for Justin Herbert are going to run out. In addition, like Chris Brazell in the second round, I love it. Size, speed, a little bit of he does a really good job. I think that some of these bigger guys, these bigger wide receivers, these bigger targets in this draft class as far as catching outside of their frame. It's a hard thing to do. We Charger fans were a little spoiled by Mike Williams as far as what he can do in contested catch situations. So it's just like anybody else, his size can do it. That's just not the case. It's just not the case. I actually love the addition of Brazell in the second round out of Tennessee, a burner, big, tall guy. So mine is obviously Eli Stowers, tight end. You're like, wait a second, Charlie Kolar, Aronde Gadsden. I'm just thinking of a Mike McDaniel offense, and I want a guy who jumps 40 plus inches in the red zone to really be somebody. Listen, have you guys watched the Chargers red zone offense?
It's brutal.
Half a decade. It's bad. And sure, with a reinforced interior offensive line, waiting to see that happen, with a running back like Amari Hampton and the guys behind him and Keaton Mitchell and Kamani Vidal, sure, that's fun and exciting, but in the red zone, it's just a little bit different. The big heavies are in there. This is a time to really, really crash and get downhill. So as an offensive coordinator, if I'm Mike McDaniel, give me a guy who can jump out the gym. And Eli Stowers, I mean, I love me some 22. I love me 12. I love me 13. Listen, I run a lot of tight ends. If you guys paid attention to my shit when I was coaching youth football, woo, we were the only team not running like 3 wide. Like we didn't care about trips. It was all 13. It was all 12. It was I form. It was all making sure we could establish shit right in the trenches. And then we burnt everybody. I'm not going to talk about the record. We lost one, and it's because of me. It's because I let a kid who maybe missed the age deadline by about 8 days still play. And so that I know it's on me. It's 1,000% on me. It was a really hard thing for me. It was really hard.
That's rough. That sucks.
Me in the eyes too many times. And she was a pretty lady, and I was weak. So I got to play anyway, and then I got discredited, and I noticed I haven't coached since then. I am helping out the Portage Northern wide receivers. Again, I look forward to them putting up great numbers, and they did exponentially better with a little work from an old, short, fat, white guy. So let's see what we can do when it comes to evaluating the rest of the Chargers. We're on to round 3. In your draft, you have Vega, and then you have Chris Brazell, and now we're going on to round 3. Who's your round 3 pick and why, Taylor Bloom?
So I think a lot of this draft needs to be based on both sides of the line. So we hit offensive line. We took care of our number one wide receiver. And then in round 3, I'm going with an edge rusher out of Penn State, denied Dennis Sutton, who absolutely crushed his RAS score at the draft. Absolutely insane numbers. So I think he will be a good fit on this defense. And he is the replacement to Udafe Owe, who bolted to Washington for God knows what reason in free agency.
Yeah, I mean, Washington feels like the old Philly team that had like Vince Young, Michael Vick, and they signed a bunch of they Nnamdi Asomugha, like they signed all
Yeah.
huge, and they didn't win a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Good luck to Washington and the Commanders fans. Big shout out to Moshe from the Madden Ultimate Team sphere. He's a young kid who's really fucking killing it. Nobody else knows what I'm talking about, but the kid provides good information and he makes me a little bit of money, incidentally and unintentionally, by the way that I play this game, because I fuck these young kids up. So I appreciate that. An old man like me still plays Madden because I need to remember all the fucking players' names, the height, weight, their speed, and all
The
the
way
other
to do it.
It's just as good. Madden is just as good as PFF. Don't tell that to the PFF guys because they will not like. Promise you, there's just as much validity to the dumb fucks at Madden, EA Sports, when it comes to grading players. My 3rd round pick, and people are going to think it's a reach. It is not. I promise you. Everybody loves Iowa offensive lineman. The one who keeps getting forgotten. Bo Stevens. Come on. He didn't just rate the best via every metric in college football along the Iowa offensive line. He beat out Logan Jones. He beat out Jennings Dunker. It was a 94.4. I mean, his rating was even higher on the Pro Football Sports Network mock draft simulator, however they run their page. And forgive me for referring to a simulator. I'm sure they actually have a website, but I'm telling you right now, Bo Stevens is who you want if you do, for some reason, get Vega Ioane. And I know it's Ioane as far as other people are saying. Taylor and I are sticking together for whatever reason, but Bo Stevens at guard, another guard, and then you're done. You don't have to work. Cole Strange is a backup. Whatever the fuck Drogemeyer told us was the pronunciation of Akasagi, or I'm so
oh God.
I'm gonna get roasted for that shit because I've always been really serious on names. I don't have the energy to give that to him right now. But you look at that type of an improvement along the interior offensive line.
That's a great offensive line.
But a healthy Slater, a healthy Alt, the excuses are gonna run out for Justin Herbert, regardless of the weapons.
I agree. If you put Vega Ioane and Bo Stevens on that offensive line with who they have, that's easily a top 10 offensive line, maybe a top 5 offensive line. Yeah, top 5 offensive line. And you're right. You know, there's literally no excuses now for this team to not win, especially on offense. Like, there's no reason why they should struggle in the red zone. There should be no reason why they can't get into rhythm quick. Like, all the excuses are gone.
I've always been, or at least tried to be, a huge Justin Herbert supporter. For those of you who are very young and you haven't been paying attention, to Bolt Blitz for a long time, I was really wrong about that draft. I wanted Isaiah Simmons, a positionless player, and here's why. I need to really make this perfectly clear. I was not at all ready to give up on Phillip Rivers. So much so that I forgot that the tween team at the social media carriage, that is the Chargers team, I forgot that Joel Price was not in charge of that anymore because he had moved on. I think he's in like fucking Singapore or some shit. But I messaged them and I'm like, hey, the way that we go about this year is the time is now. And Rivers is the one. And then lo and behold, the Dolphins select Tua Tagovailoa at 5. And then arguably my second, easily, easily already my second favorite quarterback for the Chargers of all time. Justin Herbert was selected at 6. Your thoughts on the fans that are trying to work around, what he provides and, he chokes and this and that. But just real quickly before we get to our round 4 picks, your thoughts on Herbert moving forward. Is he out of excuses, but should we give him a little leeway? It's kind of a weird catch-22.
I think if they do what we think they should do in this draft and take a guard, sure up at least one piece of the interior. I mean, I would love 2 guards. I'll take one. A one's a win, especially the way Joe Ortiz has drafted interior offensive linemen in general, since he's been the GM. I think if they fix that, yes, the excuses start to run out. To be fair, another new offense Justin Herbert needs to learn, but dude's super smart, so I have no issues there.
Like the fucking 12th offensive coordinator he's had since college. It's not that high, but it's getting insane. It's getting out of hand.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at, especially last year, what Justin Herbert did with basically no protection in front of him, you expect that with all the additions in the run game, you address the issue on the offensive line, you now elevate past this 11-win plateau you've hit in back-to-back years. Like, I think Vegas right now has them at over under 10.5 wins. Like, you should be able to climb a little bit this year and really show that this is a team that can make a run to win a Super Bowl.
I'm with you. I'm with you, except for the fact that, okay, hold on. Shaw, we're trying to include our fans and the folks in the comment section more often. Watch the Eagles game from last year, days after hand surgery, getting mauled. Keeps getting up like his last name is Balboa. Respect. Listen, Taylor, I know exactly what I'm about to say. Even the players, his teammates, when they saw him stiff arm that cat with a broken hand, like, there's not the all 20. Well, it's not the all 22, but there's the mic'd up. Sorry. There's the mic'd up where you hear players going, and he did that with the broken.
Yeah.
He's just built different.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I agree.
He's a little autistic, or maybe a lot autistic. and yes, he does have other things besides football to pay attention to. That one girl he hangs out with, she's all right. It looks like to me. I'm just saying. But what I would like to provide for people is, I don't know that there's a Charger I've been around, or excuse me, I should not say been around, that I've watched other than like a Rivers, a Tomlinson, a Gates. And I know that's like, oh, the Chargers Mount Rushmore, but Justin Herbert wants to win as much as you guys want him to win.
Yeah. I agree 1,000,000%. It's just so frustrating watching him have to will this team and just not have the pieces around him to get over the hump. And then he becomes the scapegoat. The 2
playoff playing hero ball, Taylor.
Yeah. What do you want him to do? You have Austin Deckles at left tackle. Like what is he supposed to do? And it sucks that
ball and get sacked 1,000 times a game, and then it's just like, oh, is a breakdown in block? No, he did. Oh, I'm so glad we're on this actually, and hopefully we're not boring the fans here. But I will say this: I've never, and Philip had a lot of shit coming his way. I believe I would like to anoint myself as the Philip Rivers protector because I did it for a long time, but it's even more exhausting in this day and age when it comes to the Chargers fan base, especially the Bolt fam, which I don't know if there is a Bolt fam anymore. But when it comes to like defending Justin Herbert and his ability to play the game, we're not that far removed from watching him pass for 40 plus touchdowns and 5,000 yards. It's just when you don't have weapons that can separate because the offensive line can't give you more than 2.1 seconds to throw. I mean, it's a little debilitating when it comes to trying to get your job done as a quarterback.
Yeah, and I don't think it's the Chargers fans criticizing Herbert at all. I think when you watch these big national media shows, they're quick to jump on him because, well, he can't win the playoffs. He's a choke artist, but they didn't watch all 17 games like you and I did and see what he did in those games to will this team to 11 wins. It's very easy to put all the blame on the quarterback because, well, he gets paid the most money. He's the star of the team. But, you want to go back to Jacksonville. Justin Herbert didn't play defense.
God, I wish they would have put him on the edge. He's 6'6", almost 235. Let me have him get after the quarterback. God damn it, he would have done something. What? Obviously, I'm joking, but what I mean by that, and even introducing it into the conversation, is I'm not sure I've seen a Charger other than Phillip Rivers and maybe a couple other guys who want to win more than Herbert does. I'm just not sure, as the more I look at this team, this organization, when it comes to a head coach and Jim Harbaugh, and we're not here to start a fire sale on the front office. I'm still unsure about a general manager and Joe Ortiz. Sure, Baltimore had a great plan for winning 11 games, and they've instituted that. It's worked out. I'm just, at what point do you say, how do we get over the hump? How do we propel this team to the next level? For me, it could not be more clear that if you protect 10, he's going to make you, me. I've got 3 cats because my kid, he's always following me around everywhere I go. We can all get open in a Herbert offense where he's comfortable, confident, and he's protected well.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the frustration with this free agency period, that what Justin Herbert can do if he has weapons, if he actually has, some type of protection that's not ranked bottom of the barrel in the NFL. And they didn't push their chips in the table and spend a little bit more money when they had all this cap space. They stuck to their plan with the bargain shopping that Joe Ortiz has done the past 3 years. And I think that's the biggest frustration. And yes, you can believe in Mike McDaniel and his scheme and what he brings to the table. That's all well and good. But as a Chargers fan, I know that this team will not stay healthy for 17 games. We've seen the worst luck where your 2 tackles go out. And I just feel like there could have been more to be had in this free agency period, and they just still want to follow the same safe strategy where the window's open to win now.
For those of you who are listening out there, thank you so much for tuning in to Bolt Blitz Uncut. We couldn't thank you more. I'm your host, Booga Peters, joined by co-host and producer Taylor Bloom, who is also the host of the Electric Edge podcast. If you have yet to check out her shit there, you better do so, because she's straight factual there, and it's very important to me. I want to point something out. We're not here picking on the Chargers and the front office. We're not here to do that. We're just, some of us are getting a little tired of watching the same shit over and over and over again. I know Jessica Thompson, big shout out to her. Thank you for joining us in the comments. She'll be at the Bolt Blitz meetup here June 27th. As soon as I finish figuring out where the fuck that's going to be. I've had so many recommendations that it really hasn't helped. But I will figure that out, and we have a great game plan for you all. But everybody is waiting on round 4. I'll let you start on round 4. Again, let's recap who we had. I'll start with mine. Both Taylor and I, had Vega Ioane, the guard out of Penn State, as our round 4 perfect world selections. I had tight end Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt. A lot of people are not going to like that because they already have the tight end room filled out. What I love is that you have Gadsden, who I think is just a Y slot. Stowers is more a Y slot too, but they did sign Charlie Kolar. He's your blocking tight end. It would literally easily be the best tight end room in the entire NFL and give me that red zone opportunity every time. Taylor, your second round pick was Chris Brazzell out of Tennessee. Big, tall, 6'5" receiver with 4.3 highish speed. Can go up and get the ball, catches outside his frame. I want to make sure that people understand that he's not Quentin Johnston. He can actually extend, and contested catch things are a part of what he does well. Quentin Johnston, though, I do believe he has a great opportunity to make a lot of hay, if you will, in this Mike McDaniel offense. He's not going anywhere, guys. Sorry if you're trying to get him out of there. He's going to be the bubble guy. He's going to be a screen guy. He's going to be the hitch guy, because one of the things that Mike McDaniel does better than anybody, except for Kyle Shanahan and the Shanahan offensive tree, maybe a little McVay touch, if you will, he's going to find ways to get literally every player open depending on what their strengths are. That's where Greg Roman failed, because he tried to make everyone fit his scheme as opposed to making his scheme fit the players around him. Taylor, agree, disagree? Talk to me more.
1,000,000%. I mean, it was a breath of fresh air hearing Mike McDaniel in his first press conference say, I'm going to work with the players I have to their strengths. So I agree.
He was also clear that, like, Justin's been asked to do way too much.
Yeah.
You listen, I'm from small towns. I played on some really bad teams. And sometimes, no matter how hard you try, no matter what a difference maker you are, it does not fucking matter. Justin Herbert has been in this position to where he's running for his fucking life every goddamn game. It's tiresome. And then we sit here as these Chargers podcasters and hosts, and we support him and we defend him. But like, at what point do people actually understand, like, what more can this guy do on his own? And it's just not much more, unless they do the things necessary up front and then get him some guys that can separate.
Yep. I agree.
We
on to round 4.
Round 4, go for it. You get yours first.
All right. I am taking safety Bud Clark out of TCU. If he's there.
If he lasts that long, I'm excited. Tell me more.
Yeah, I think one of the needs in this draft, I think, is a safety. So I think he's graded very well out of TCU. So I think it would be a great pick if he does fall to the 4th round for the Chargers.
Good ball skills. Not a huge ball hawk, but what I will tell you is he's going to hit you in the mouth a little bit, but with the right way. And as far as trying to get the ball dislodged, Bud Clark, if he lasts, again, out of TCU, if he lasts to the 4th round, I am all about it. For me, as my round 4 pick, I've got wide receiver Brennan Thompson out of Mississippi State. He's not Tyreek Hill, but he could be Jalen Waddle. He's a 4.26 guy, and I'm not a combine guy. I'm not an underwear Olympics guy, for all the reasons that everybody knows about me. Not trying to be weird. Super, super fast. You see what? So the questions that I get is like, because I've talked about this in the media chat, and it's like, why do you like Brennan Thompson in the 4th more than you would a guy like Zachariah Branch out of Georgia in the 2nd round? Well, Zachariah Branch caught 49% of his passes behind the line of scrimmage. There's not only is there a use for that in the Mike McDaniel offense, he might excel there, but I do not want somebody who is completely being relied upon to catch things behind the line of scrimmage, considering Zachariah Branch weighs less than Taylor. Well, maybe they're about the same weight, but he definitely weighs less than I do, because I can't really walk, so I'm getting fatter than shit, and it is what it is. But you have a guy like Brennan Thompson who can, it's not just to take the top off the defense. He's better at hands catching than people give him credit for. You watch a lot of these smaller guys, myself included, we do a lot of body catching, and it's just a matter of the football's big and you find a way to do it. But Brennan Thompson has enough size and way more than enough speed to really do something in a Mike McDaniel offense. Again, as we mentioned earlier in the show, he's going to scheme people wide open. I know. Yeah. I told Taylor about the guns. I was like, all right, fine.
It's 98 degrees here. It's so hot.
Clearly, and the fans love it.
And I need to get my tan on, so.
Oh, God, and I'm so pale, and I'm here in Michigan, and I pay for Planet Fitness just for the tan. Good Lord. Yeah, Taylor's a badass, and it's why that I still don't remember. And she's told me 1,000 times. I still don't even remember how she and I started coordinating shit together. But because I kind of strayed off topic and she kind of reeled us back in earlier, let's get to that last pick. That 201, is it 1 or 204?
It is 204.
Last pick is
204.
It's 204. Who is yours? And then I'll share mine.
Okay. I have defensive lineman Colt Brevard out of Texas. He his best game last year was against Ohio State. That was his highest graded game according to PFF. He graded 85.5. His pass rush win rate is 8%, which is very good. Pass rush grade overall is 67.9. So, one of the other needs that I've seen is beefing up that defensive line. So I think that's a good pick at 204.
I love it. Listen, the D line, the Chargers defensive line, obviously Tito Abonia is gone, Odafe Oweh is gone. There are a few others. I look at it, an addition along the defensive line. It's not necessarily a luxury pick, especially that late in the draft, but you need as much depth as you can get, especially when it comes to defensive goal line situations. For me, when I look at that last pick, 204, give me a corner because as much as I love Tarheeb still, and I'm still banking on Cam Hart because he was a guy that I projected to the Chargers. And Dante Jackson, the problem is he's 30, he's Taylor's age, and I'm not sure how much I can buy into any ascension regarding him. Give me a guy like the cornerback out of Alabama, Damani Jackson. He runs in the low 4.3s. He's athletic. He's strong enough in the run game. He's not great in the run game, but I will say this. He's got the length. He's just under 6'1". I know everybody's saying he's 6'1". I've been told he's not quite there. But he has enough weight to him, too, to where I believe that he can find a way to be taught by a Chris O'Leary defense that is a Jesse Minter defense, that is also a Mike McDonald defense, that also translates into so many other defenses that are way above y'all's heads. And I'm not going to put those names out there, but I'm going to provide you with the information that I have available for you. I do want to kind of go back to that was our draft classes, and Taylor and I will run over them. But what I want to do is give a chance to the chat. Taylor got the guns out. Yeah, I did that one already. Sorry. I like Delp.
Yeah.
Okay. So Oscar Delp, the tight end out of Georgia, better he lit his pro day on fire. So I like that. Sure. I love athletic guys, but they have that in Gadsden. Give me a guy who, I know it's early for a second round, but if you don't take Eli Stowers in the second round, you're not going to get him. It's a weird pick in the second round, and I understand that. It's like another tight end that really doesn't make sense. I'm trying to find a fucking way for this team to score when it counts, because their inability to put up touchdowns in the red zone
is so frustrating.
It's incredible. Taylor, thank you so much. It's incredibly frustrating because you have a guy like Herbert, and then you have Hampton, or when it was Najee Harris, or even Kamani Vidal. There are guys who can punch it in if you have the front fucking big hams, if you will, the big maulers in front of them to do that kind of thing. But let's say you don't, and you have to get the ball out quick. Give me a guy. I think Eli Stowers had like a 46-inch vertical. I mean, it's something goofy.
Wow. That's
and
crazy.
He's a hands catcher. He's not a body catcher. If I was trying to design, regardless of the positioning along the draft class via rounds, Eli Stowers needs to be in a Mike McDaniel offense. He's somebody I would like to see. I don't know. Does round 2 make sense? Does he make sense at all for the Chargers? I'm not sure. But what I wanted to do was provide a little bit of fun for all the Chargers fans out there. Taylor, run down your entire draft class, and then I will do mine as well.
Okay, so round 1, I have Vega Ioane, guard out of Penn State. Round 2, Chris Brazel out of Tennessee, wide receiver. Round 3, Denai Dennis Sutton, defensive end out of Penn State. Round 4, Bud Clark, safety out of TCU. And then round 6, Cole Brevard, defensive lineman out of Texas.
I didn't address edge at all. I'm just so happy about the edge situation that I didn't, and that's a fallacy on my part. So if I had to rate one above the other, just for the fact that you have denied Dennison, whom I'm very, very, very high on. I watch a lot of Penn State because I've been watching Vega Ioane, or where the fuck y'all want to call him. I got to see a lot of that shit. They've got a couple of guys coming out in a couple of years too that are going to be very fun to watch. Penn State is always a fun team, especially when you watch their offensive linemen and interior defensive linemen if you're bored. Mine was Vega Ioane at guard Penn State in round 1. My round 2 was tight end Eli Stowers. God, I don't know why I keep saying Ely. It's just Eli. So many Eli friends. It's goofy. But I know people are going to hate that, and that's okay. I'm trying to score points. And then because of the fact that I'm trying to score points, then Bo Stevens in the 3rd, people will consider that an overdraft because they're just reading the wrong shit. A very, very high ranking, regardless of what metric you look at. I really, really want to see what he could do in the Chargers offense. And then Brennan Thompson, a 4.26 guy. He's not Tyreek Hill because he doesn't beat women. He's just as fast almost. And he's a little undersized, even compared to Tyreek Hill. So maybe people are out on that. But if you have not yet paid attention to the officiating rules in the NFL, you can't breathe on a wide receiver anymore. Give me a little guy who can run for it. This is not some weird, like, ooh, if I could be out there. Anyway, this is the guy can fly at 4.26. I'm never running a 4.26. If he can get out there and do that in a Mike McDaniel offense, I think it's not just something special. It's something that could be a little spicy and not expected when it comes to what the Chargers offense is going to do under Mike McDaniel. Because as Taylor and I talked about earlier, this running game is going to be incredibly special. My last pick, sorry, at 2-0, whatever, Damani Jackson, cornerback, Alabama. Super fast, has all the skills that would fit Mike McDonald, Jesse Minter, Chris O'Leary defense. India loves Taylor's 2nd-round wide receiver. A lot of people do. Can he stay healthy? Though he catches outside of his frame, though he does a good job attacking the ball while up in the air. He's a contested catch guy. Not Mike Williams, by the way, but similar-ish because he's way faster. Big frame. How confident are you in the fact that he would make a huge impact even as a rookie, considering this is a Mike McDaniel offense and they really don't know what they have in Trey Harris and Keandre Lambert-Smith?
Yeah, I think if the Chargers took him in the 2nd round, I think, as I've said, Mike McDaniel's going to work with the players that he has, and he's going to play to his strengths. So, and we've talked about getting that number 1 wide receiver for Justin Herbert, and I think that there is a very high probability this could be the guy for them.
If he lasts to the 2nd, at 55, it's a weird spot being at 55 because even if, let's say, they don't get Ioane or however the fuck you say his name, when you get to that round 2 pick, Chase Basantis out of Arizona State's gone. Emmanuel Pregnon, there's no fucking way unless the league is completely stupid as shit. I don't understand how he falls there. But you don't just need to get a guard in the first 2 rounds. You need to get a real seriously good one.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think Pregnon is going to last to 55 at this point. I feel like his stock just keeps going up and up. So we'll see. We shall see.
So I will tell you this, and you'll be welcome to it. I've reached in my media chat people who are way more important than me, and no, we don't give away sources on here, you fucking cowards. No, we don't do that. But I've gone as far as to say that the interior offensive line need is so drastic that you chase a Basantis. You can do it. You go after Emmanuel Pregnon, like just get the guard you want. You know, that's going to be frowned upon by a lot of people, except for the people in the know. Taylor, let's say the Chargers actually do draft a Chase Basantis at 22 or an Emmanuel Pregnon out of Oregon. How disappointed or excited would you be?
I'm definitely not going to be disappointed. It's going to be an improvement to this offensive line, and I have said for months now that I think the first round or 2 needs to be trench focused. And if they go offensive line and they take one of these guys that are projected in the 2nd round and the 1st round, I'm not going to be mad at all. Not one bit.
So the edge room, Tui Pelotu, and then of course Khalil Mack, and then we're just trying to
Kyle
figure.
Kennard is still hanging around.
Why did you even bring? I forgot he was a Charger. No, I'm
Because
playing.
they drafted him last year.
Did they? Oh, that's right. He does play for the team. Um, so all right, you know I do this with you every time we have a show, and we're getting ready to get out of here, folks. Thank you so much for tuning into Bull Blitz Uncut. Taylor's got to go work on those guns more. And by the way, I'm gonna show up in a tank top soon. It's just I got the moobs right now. The moobs. They're man boobs, and I can't do that in a tank top. I still got guns. I'm just not ready to put them out there to compete with an Olympian like Taylor.
Oh, I'm far from it, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Well, hey, the chat was all about it. When you look at guys like Kyle Kennard and Junior Colson, I mean, I mocked Junior Colson of the Chargers, was so excited, 6'3", 250, so excited, like cannot wait to see what he does. He was great in pass coverage at Michigan. He was great against the run, and now he just cannot catch a snap. But he's posting on Instagram. Sounds like Ty Becton. I'm just saying, you see guys like that, and it's just like Kyle Kennard, 4th round pick,
Yeah.
Junior Colson, 3rd round pick. At what point do we start to hold Joe Ortiz, and most importantly, Jim Harbaugh, who is actually in charge, responsible for these horrible picks?
Well, I'm not going to throw in the talent either of the guys. I will give a comparison. The first year of Ortiz drafted Justin Aboybe, didn't have a very good rookie year. Year 2 last year had a much improved
He was
year.
coming off of hold on. He was coming off of a broken neck, though.
Fair.
Like a broken neck. Like that's a little different.
Fair. But Kyle Kennard was a former SEC Defensive Player of the Year at South Carolina. I will judge him better in year 2 than his rookie season. Now, Junior Colson, we're in year 3 of Junior Colson. Didn't play last year, played limited his rookie year. Got to see something from him.
Was horrible.
Yeah,
rookie.
You got to see something from him this year, or that's a complete bust. In that first draft for Ortiz and Harbaugh.
Different seasons, same regime. I guess I think that where we're going to end this show is Charger fans do literally need to start to think about, well, maybe it's just my opinion, which I don't know how many people share this with me, but it's time we start to talk about, it's easy to talk about Herbert and his inability during the playoffs, but at what point do you say maybe it's Harbaugh who's in charge and then Ortiz who's the second in command that are actually the problems when it comes to building this team? We all were so excited, and I mean everybody pretty much, when Jim Harbaugh got this job as the Chargers head coach. He was my number 1 or 2. I think he was my
my number 1.
I wanted Vrabel, and then I wanted Ben Johnson. Those were my guys that I wanted. I wanted Vrabel because I'm tired of the fucking pansy bullshit, and I wanted the Chargers to be a hit you in the fucking mouth team. It was just how I was raised, and I'm not a big dude. If you can't hit in the mouth, it didn't work. So having now Jim Harbaugh, who's this hard-nosed guy, and then a finesse offensive coordinator, and Mike McDaniel. As much as I was excited, ecstatic, literally maybe prayed to get Mike McDaniel as the offensive coordinator, I'm really curious to see how this offense plays out. Taylor, as we do at the end of every episode of at Bolt Blitz Uncut, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Make sure you've liked and subscribed because I'm horrible at adding that. But more importantly, the thing that I don't suck at doing is making sure I get Taylor out there everywhere. Taylor is the host of the At Electric Edge podcast. She's literally one of the best to ever do it, and she continues to stand at the top of the mountain as far as I'm concerned. Please let them know where they can find you other than there, because you have so many outlets.
Yep. So if you want to follow me on socials, I'm at Electric Edge Pod on X, TikTok, Instagram. I did create a Facebook page as well. So I'm on Facebook, Electric Edge Podcast. If you want to listen to my show, you can listen on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, search Electric Edge Podcast, and you'll see me pop up. Personal Facebook page, I'm at Taylor Bloom.
what Taylor and I are gonna do, and we'll schedule a special show at some point. Guns out, suns out. I said that backwards. What we'll
Okay.
do, we're gonna do an actual for India, strictly for India. We're gonna do a live mock draft. We don't have time to do it tonight, and forgive us, please. Nah, I'm so sorry, India. We don't have time to do it tonight, but I promise we will make a special show just to do a live mock. And Taylor's all on board because we did not talk about it pre-show, but we're going to do it anyway. And we'll figure it out. Taylor has to keep herself busy because that's what she does. This has been Bolt Blitz Uncut. I'm not going to keep the end too long. Thank you so much for everybody who tuned in. I'm not going to take the time to shout you all out, but what I will say is the more of you guys that we get in here commenting, liking, and subscribing, the more often we can do this. Thank you so much for taking the time. My name is Booga Peters. On behalf of the greatness that is Taylor Bloom, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate y'all.